Thank you. Okay. On November 20th, 2021, Transgender Day of Remembrance, I listened to the names of 44 transgender people killed last year, somberly read aloud, most of them Black or brown trans women. The number is likely much higher as violence against trans and gender diverse people is often underreported or people are misgendered. Kiwi Herring was continually misgendered in August 2017 in the reporting of her death. A Mississippi native, Kiwi, a trans female, moved to St. Louis with her partner, Chrissy Thompson, who identifies as a trans male. They were raising Kiwi's 3 sons, who were 4, 7, and 8 at the time of her killing. The couple was continually harassed by their neighbor and others in the complex where they lived. Cravonda Nance, Kiwi's sister-in-law, said, the neighbor was homophobic and made fun of her. We couldn't understand why he was so angry and why he cared about Kiwi's sexual orientation and identity. Kiwi's family told reporters she was the life of the party with a contagious smile. She was beloved by neighborhood children and fed people with love. Kiwi's killing was allegedly preceded by a fire set on the couple's back porch. An altercation broke out between the couple and those they believed were involved with setting the fire. The following morning, another altercation occurred, which led to a person being stabbed. That individual called the police. 2 St. Louis police officers responded to 2 calls for cutting at around 8 a.m. Acting Police Chief Lawrence O'Toole said in a news conference, when they arrived, they met the victim who was severely cut and who identified the suspect. When the officers went to take the suspect into custody, the suspect, Herring, flourished a knife and slashed at the officers, slicing one officer on the arm. Both officers discharged their service weapons at Herring. The number of shots filed was not revealed. Herring's spouse, Chrissy Thompson, was taken into custody for allegedly being involved in the assault. One of the officers had been on the force for 7 years and the other 9. The injured officer, whose wound was not that serious, according to the acting chief, was treated at a local hospital and released, according to the police chief. Both officers were put on administrative leave. According to the Huffington Post, Kiwi's relatives believed her homophobic neighbor and excessive force by law enforcement are to blame for her death. In a peaceful protest following the killing, at least 3 people were injured when a car drove into the crowd. People at the event reported several vehicles rerouting themselves when they saw the crowd. A white man driving a Mercedes did not turn around. One witness said he had his middle fingers raised before he accelerated through the group of people who were blocking Manchester Avenue and Sarah Street in the Grove neighborhood, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch newspaper reported. The St. Louis police reported a different story, saying the driver attempted to drive around the protesters before being enveloped by them. Their report indicated people were injured because they jumped on the car and fell off when the car pulled away. Photographs and videos of the scene appear to corroborate the witnesses' rendition. The driver was taken into custody after refusing to stop and a police pursuit. Responding to a different case involving the police killing of Tony McDade, who was previously honored at an MVBLM vigil, Dominique Morgan, executive director of Black and Pink, an organization that serves incarcerated LGBTQ+ and HIV/AIDS positive people, said, we know that when we do engage with police and prisons to seek relief, Black bodies and Black, queer, trans, and gender nonconforming bodies are not going to receive anything that looks like relief. The police aren't going to interrogate people who have harmed us the way they have interrogated us when they've perceived we've harmed others. According to Out and Equal and LGBTQ+ advocates, the anti-trans bills sweeping across the nation are responsible for fueling a deadly stigma. The anti-trans bills and politicians establishing platforms based on transphobia and anti-trans violence are sending the message that trans and non-binary people are less than human. Therefore, it's acceptable to treat them inhumanely. Last year, the number of transgender and non-binary people lost to anti-transgender violence was the highest on record in the United States. As is too often the case in the reporting of anti-transgender violence, many of these victims are misgendered in local police statements and media reports, which can affect the accuracy of reporting these deaths. In 2019, the American Medical Association stated that violence targeted transgender people reached epidemic proportions. In 2021, the record-breaking violence was also compounded by the ongoing effects of the pandemic, racially motivated violence, and the most dangerous legislative season for anti-transgender bills across the country. Please take a knee to honor the life of Kiwi Herring and all those who suffer from anti-transgender and gender diverse violence. Can I ask Dana or somebody, could you capture the time? I don't have a clock right here. Or I can just look at the clock. I'll just look at the clock here and we'll start. Thank you, everybody. That's time.
Thanks, Lexi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If we
Thank you.
could just say Kiwi's name, if you could unmute yourself and say Kiwi Herring's name 3 times. Kiwi Herring.
Kiwi Herring.
Say her name, Kiwi Herring.
Kiwi Herring.
Kiwi herring.
And one more time, Kiwi Herring.
Kiwi Herring.
Kiwi herring.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's important, Lexi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
We need speakers. John Friedman, who was supposed to speak this month and had to switch to next month. Ironically, he's touring the civil rights sites down south, apparently. But he will be taking April, but we need speakers after that. We did ask last month and no one stepped forward. So Lexi took over. But in order to, if we want to keep this going, we need people to step up and speak. If no one else will, I will do it in May. But please step up and speak
I'll do it.
in May.
Jean, yeah. Huh? Jean or I could do it.
We've got a bidding war here.
Huh?
You and Jean figure it out.
You go ahead, Jean, and I'll do June.
Okay, I'll do May.
Okay, so we have May and June taken care of.
Yeah.
I'll do July.
And hopefully we'll be seeing each other in person again.
Yes, I'm wondering, could we start in person in
Sure,
May?
not, maybe in May. Yeah,
May.
May can't be worse than November,
May or
can it?
June?
Okay,
Sure. Yeah,
May sounds good.
May sounds good. I don't know how many people are here in May.
Mhm.
Well,
Andy, I don't know if you're here in May, are you?
I will be here all of June, not May. It depending on if baseball starts or not. So.
Baseball. Got it. Okay. Got your priorities there, man. Got to work. Okay.
Andy, could you take June, because I realize I may be driving down to the vineyard on that day.
I can take June.
Okay.
Great.
Thanks a
Okay.
lot.
Thank you. Thank you all. Does anyone have anything they'd like to offer?
one
Andy?
other question.
thank you again to you.
Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, I would just, there's a show that's on, a masterclass show. That's the history we weren't taught in school. I think you can still access it for free, but it is an amazing masterclass. It's got Angela Davis, Cornell West, Nicole Hannah-Jones, Sherilyn Eifel, amongst others. And I think if you can't find it on masterclass for free, I think you can get it on IMDb TV. But it was really, really a great masterclass with a bunch of different views and opinions and history, and just, I can't recommend it enough if anybody can find
Okay,
it.
and it's titled The History We Weren't Told in School?
Yep, and it's the history we weren't taught in school, Black love, Black freedom.
So I think, Link, I put that in our last newsletter.
think so too.
And it's offered by the African American Policy Forum, which is, oh, I'm seeing her name, Intersectionality, Kimberly Crenshaw's organization. And she's featured as one of the teachers in the master class. So if you're looking for the link, you can try it there. They were offering it for free for February because of Black History Month. So I'm not sure if it's still free in March or if there are workarounds.
I don't think it's free anymore, but it's a powerful show, and Cornell West is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went to the website. I think they were still offering it for free. You can check. I'm not sure. Maybe because I was watching it previously. I don't know. And I went to masterclass.
Okay, thank you. Jean, did you have?
Oh, I just wondered if when we start meeting in person, will we go back to meeting weekly or monthly?
Yeah, guess we'll have to figure that one out.
Okay, okay,
Personally, I think I would prefer weekly, but
me
you
too.
know, let everybody
I would,
vote on that one.
definitely.
Anyone else?
So
Yeah, I just want to update folks. We had our first meeting of prospective mentors last week at the high school. We had a really good start. Andy joined me with about 6 other people, including Leo Frame, which was really positive because he's the one who started this whole mentor program, Young Brothers to Men. We're meeting again this coming Thursday, March 10th, just to kind of increase our understanding of what we want to do and develop, further develop a vision of who we are as a group. And then we will start meeting with the kids. Also, I was able to confirm that Polly Brown is indeed going to allow us to use one of her homes right on Tajmu from June 16th to June 23rd for the Young Brothers to Men, the Neighborhood First program. The kids from Philadelphia will be coming to spend the week with us. I'm hoping to do a little fundraising around this. Polly Brown's not charging us a thing for the home, but there are costs to the program. And the director, Walt, is going to come up with what he thinks the total cost will be for them to come up for the week. And we're going to see if we can have them come without incurring any cost. So I will keep you posted.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, great.
wonderful.
Eric, how many kids are you hoping to bring? Just curious.
They're going to start with a smaller group. They're going to bring 6 to 8 kids and 2 staff. And that's about as many as the house can hold comfortably and as many as the van can hold with all their gear that they'll come up with. So it's a good beginning for us.
Yes.
How many mentors, may I ask, do you have?
So Andy, what were there, 6 or 7 at the last meeting? And I asked everybody to kind of come back this Thursday and bring one other person. And I know at least 4 or 5 people that couldn't make it last week will make it next week. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start with a group of about 12 to 15.
That's wonderful.
Okay, thanks. Great.
So
Do you
happy.
want to speak to the thing that the high school is planning in June?
So June 10th, they're planning, I think they're using a title of Diversity Day. They haven't settled on that. And I don't want to say too much because I still am not positive I understand what they're doing. They're going to have a speaker, Kyle Williams, from Long Talk About an Uncomfortable Truth. And they're going to have subgroups, groups that kids can attend in small groups that kind of cover a lot of ground. And Dana and I, and it's open to others, are going to meet with the group to talk to them, I think, a little bit about the starting of MVBLM. My hope is that we're able to start some sort of a student BLM group. But there's going to be a number of people talking about all kinds of things, whatever their interest is, their businesses are. It'll be one day, morning session and an afternoon session. I will get more information when they come up with like a flyer of some sort. I'll make sure we have it so we can get the information out to people in a more clear description.
So, and when we do that, meaning when you do that, will you please, is there a way that we can have our website on something so that the students can sign up and become MVBLM members and we
Oh,
can
that's a good
stay
idea.
connected with them?
That's a great idea. Let me talk to the school about that.
Mhm.
I would love to tap into their skills with social media. Just, I have not had the time to get that off the ground. And if we can get a volunteer who might be willing to really represent us on multiple platforms, that would be really cool. I had two more things I wanted to, one is an announcement also, just to get this in people or invite people to put this in their calendars. At the end of June, on June 24th and 25th, the island is going to benefit from a weekend of truth and joy. And this is something that the Martha's Vineyard Diversity Coalition is putting together in conjunction or in partnership with WMVY Radio and the Campground Meeting Association. The Truth event is starts at 5:30 on Friday with a plaque dedication at the campground, which is honoring the Wampanoag and Black people who were basically purged from the campground at the early turn of the past century. And then the 6:30 event is the presentation that is actually sharing the history of what happened at the campground. And these events are all happening at the Tabernacle. So the presentation is going to be really interesting, and there's some visuals that go along with it that I think are really powerful. So I encourage everybody to attend, and there'll be a discussion with that. And then Saturday at 2 o'clock, there's a diversity fair that's going to be filled with island vendors with food and artisans, and really part of the celebration of turning into joy. And there's going to be a job fair with social services agencies on the island. And then at 6:30, there's a diversity event, which is going to be music and poetry, and MVY is curating that. And that's the big celebration event, and it's going to reflect the diversity of the island. And there's some really cool artists that are going to be performing that night, and it's all free. So hopefully you'll put that in your calendars for the 24th and 25th of June.
And it'll be sent to us.
I'll put a save the date in the newsletter, and I'll also share the flyer as we get closer to the event. And I ask that everybody share it with your networks so that we can get a lot of people coming. So I think I'm hoping that this will be something that the beginning of the roots going deeper, and that this is something that will become an annual event for the island. Because I think it could be pretty cool to do the truth part and then also the celebration side of the joy. So can I just make sure I got this right in terms of who's speaking next? Stephen, you're doing April? Jean?
No, John Friedman is doing April.
Sorry, John's doing April. Okay, and then Stephen's doing May?
No, Jean.
Jean is.
Jean's
Jean.
doing May.
I could do May, but
Right.
And then at that time, we might go weekly. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put Stephen and Chelsea and Link on the list, and we'll determine which Sunday is from there. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because we won't be there in May. We'll be there in June.
Okay.
Andy, I know my name's not showing up there, but Link is Andy Italiano.
I was thinking, Andy, that you were Link, even though I know you're Andy. Sorry, I'm so bad with
I
it.
thought you were trying to be cool.
Yeah, Mod Squad.
Just one more thing. Does anyone else have anything else to say?
Yeah, I do. Ellen Levine is,
Just
sorry, go ahead. Ellen Levine is having an art exhibition at the Chilmark Library starting on June 10th. And I think the reception is probably the 17th, it's a Friday. And it's a series of paintings, it's refugee paintings. She's been doing these for years. People who are escaping or trying to escape from situations such as the ones that Ia is describing. So I think it's very relevant and I think they're great painting. But we'll put an announcement in also.
Yeah, if you can send that, just send me an email or send it to hello@NVBLM. I'd love to put that in the newsletter, Stephen.
Sure, glad to. And-
I'll go on,
yeah.
Stephen, sorry.
And Eric, has the shed started a new thing yet?
We're going to start recording in the next few weeks and hopefully have the second season completed by Memorial Day.
Wow. All right.
Wow,
All
Look
right.
forward to
great.
anyone
Just
else?
Something that may be of
Hi,
interest.
this is Shar. I just wanted to give a shout out to Nancy Aaron.
I'm here. Yes, honey. What? Can't hear you.
We lost you, Shar.
You disappeared.
DeBella, to a reporter. So thanks for everybody who continues to support all these families. I really appreciate it. And so
We lost the first part, Shar, what you're saying.
Chart, you keep muting.
I'm sorry. I wanted to give a shout out to Nancy Arany for helping connect a family to some help in Connecticut for their case, an
Great.
investigative reporter connection. Thank you, Nancy. And thank you everybody who supported the last vigil that I did for Lauren. There's a bill before the House.
Uh-oh.
We lost you again,
Technology.
Shar.
I'll
Shoot.
email you. Thank you, guys.
That's good.
Thank you, Shar.
Thank you.
I'll
Let's
pop
see.
in.
Anyone else?
Yeah, there's, if anyone's interested, there's a guy named Thomas Hubel, who's sort of a global expert, mostly Europe-based, but starting to do more work in North America about collective trauma and how to integrate like global collective trauma. He works with Israel, Palestine a lot, with Holocaust survivors, et cetera. And he's doing something about the Ukraine crisis today and activating our collective immune system. And it tends to be an interesting perspective that he has. I find that I often get a lot of kind of deep insight from that space. There's about 3,000 people max, so sometimes it is full, but you can watch the first 45 minutes on YouTube, and it just could be an interesting perspective if anyone has that. I don't know, is that's compelling anybody, and if anybody does wind up going, wants to talk about it after, I'd be really interested too.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thanks,
I
Chelsea.
so need it. This has been a brutal week.
Yes.
It has
It has been a
It has.
brutal week.
Yeah,
been a brutal year and it's only just started.
yeah.
Anyone else?
Jean's hand is raised.
Oh, I just wanted to say, and I'm sorry I've missed the last two. I lost track of the calendar. But I really liked the long talk. And
good.
people have spoken of that, but I'm very, it was from a different perspective and, the same but different. So I really appreciated that.
Great.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jean.
I'll just quickly, since you segued, or I'll segue with different perspective. When I had a fight about the fire in the fireplace because I'm very proprietary. I love making the fire. I'm in charge of the fire. And we were having company, and right before the company came, he started cleaning. And I said, "Why are you cleaning?" And he said, "Well, this looks better and it honors the fire." And he's taking, and I said, "But it looks like a real fireplace when it's messed up." Oh my God, I can't believe it. So a little tiny argument. And yesterday I was walking and I was thinking about how, we both were right. He's got his thing, I've got my thing. I look up and there's a sign that says caution, one way. So the message isn't there all the time. You just got to keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
I thought I'd close with that.
I would like to, one last thing, to send our collective condolences out to one of our members who lost her husband a week or so ago. Diane Poole lost Everett.
Mhm.
And some of you may know her as Diane Smith. But she's been an active member for quite a long time. She's a wonderful woman. She's a committed woman. And she is grieving the loss of Everett, as all of us are. So that goes out to her. Does anyone else have anything else they'd like to offer?
I'm sorry to hear that. Before, I just also wanted to say before we go, we are planning to stay on for those who wanted to have the conversation about the NFL. So just wanted to throw that out there too for those.
Okay.
And Andy
All right.
wanted to say something. I think you raised your hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scheduled to represent or speak at Diversity Day, and I'm hoping I could represent MVBLM with all you guys' permission. And I would love to have input as far as how to speak about my career and involve our men as well. So if there's any suggestions for that, I'll be more than willing to hear them.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Sandy. I'd love to talk to you about that. Maybe we can coordinate something since we're both going to be there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, me as well. Anyone else? All right, I have to split. I have a meeting with my son.
Kath wanted to say something.
I think that Andy, didn't some of your ideas come out of and get sparked by the BLM gatherings in Chilmark? They dovetailed and it encouraged you, and they're
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Great. Yep.
All right, well, I hope it's an interesting conversation for those of you who are staying on, but I have to go.
Yes.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in a month.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Ukraine.
Ukraine, Ukraine. Yes.
Thank you.
Humanity.
Hi, Dana and Ed.
Thank you.
Yes.
What was that quote that you were chanting yesterday? You had us chanting at the end of your speech.
Well, I said Slava Ukraini and Heroyam Slava, which is glory to Ukraine, to heroes, all glory. But the first line of the Ukrainian national anthem is Ще не вмерла Україна. And that means Ukraine is not dead yet.
Not dead yet.
Wow. It is literally
Not
the first
dead
line of the Ukrainian
yet.
national anthem. Ukraine, not dead.
Not dead yet. Amen.
Not
Take
dead.
care, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. Amen.
Eric, I think you can stop recording
Okay.
if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the discussion